The final trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu dropped last week, and it had tons of clues to the plot of the film, as well as multiple references to both the titular series and the animated shows. For instance, is this planet really what everyone thinks it is? How did Din and Zeb know each other? And why could Din not having his helmet on here be a big problem? Hi, I'm Mikey Roberts, and in this video, I'll break everything down so you know what to expect from the film when it releases next month. The Mandalorian and Grogu releases on May 22nd and takes place sometime after the third season of The Mandalorian. The plot involves Din and Grogu being enlisted by the New Republic during a time when the remnants of the Empire continue to threaten the galaxy. Now, before we go any further, I have to warn you that I'll be getting into some very thorough analysis in this video. So, if you haven't already, I highly recommend you watch the trailer before going any further. With all that being said, we have a lot to talk about. So let's get straight into it. The trailer opens on a shot of Grogu meditating in a forest. At first glance, it looks like Dagobah, the planet that Yoda escaped to after Order 66, and where Luke finds him in The Empire Strikes Back. But I was listening to Alex and Mac from Children of the Watch breaking down the trailer a few days ago, and they think that it might be Nal Hutta. This is another swampy planet that is located within the Hutt space region of the galaxy, and is, as its name suggests, the home of the Hutts. As it's located far from the eyes of galactic authorities, it's a long-standing haven for criminal activity. Now, we know that we're going to be seeing Hutts in this movie, as I'll discuss later in the video, so I think they might have been onto something with this theory. While this scene is on screen, we hear the voice of General Ward, played by Sigourney Weaver, saying that everyone's heard stories about a Mandalorian bounty hunter and a child. While this voiceover is heard, we get a quick look at a city planet that we'll talk about later, before we get our first look at Din, as Grogu pops up from behind his shoulder. Then we get a shot of a Shadow Council member. The Shadow Council were first mentioned in the Aftermath trilogy, and is made up of former Imperial members from the Empire that want to undermine the New Republic. We actually saw Moff Gideon talk to them in the 7th episode of Season 3, titled The Spies. We also hear Din's voice say that he only hunts Imperial war criminals, before we see him arm himself with 2 swords, and he says that he'll take out every bad guy they have. At the end of the Season 3 finale, Din became a contractor of the New Republic, and agreed to take on jobs hunting down remaining Empire remnants. We then get a shot of Embo, a Kyuzo bounty hunter who first appeared in the animated series The Clone Wars. He appeared in the official trailer that was released back in February, where he showed up at what looked like Din and Grogu's new home that they moved into at the end of Season 3. So it's good to know that he'll have a pretty substantial role in the film. We then get a shot of some battle droids running from the Hutt twins. They're cousins of Jabba, who first appeared in the Book of Boba Fett, where they laid claim to Jabba's former territory. We then see Din and Grogu meet up with Ward at a cantina, where she tells them that their latest mission is about preventing another war, as opposed to revenge. After the Lucasfilm logo, we see a shot of X-Wings and Y-Wings flying through a greenish city, which suggests that this might be Nal Hutta again, as Din reminds Grogu to put on his armour as they're about to go into harm's way. We then see a shot of Din looking at Grogu, as he's wearing the chest plate that Yamura made for him in Season 3. We then get a shot of the Razor Crest landing at the Delphi airbase, as Ward's voiceover says that they're protecting everything that the rebellion fought for, before we get our first look at her in her New Republic pilot uniform. Then we see Din and Zeb walking together, and Zeb wishes Din luck as he's going to need it. Zeb is a Lasat who first appeared as a Ghost Crew pilot in Star Wars Rebels. He's actually one of the last remaining members of his species, after the Empire destroyed his home planet of Lasan. This is what motivated him to join the Ghost Crew to avenge his family's deaths. He made his live-action debut in the 5th episode of Season 3, titled The Pilot. We then see Grogu walk up to a group of Anzellans. They are a species of highly skilled droidsmiths that first appeared in Season 3, where they helped repair IG-11 after he sacrificed himself in the Season 1 finale so that Din and Grogu could escape Moff Gideon. But for some reason, they're upset with Grogu and call him a bad baby. I'm eager to find out what Grogu did that made the Anzellans so angry with him. We then see the city planet again. I don't think it's Coruscant, but it might be Ord Mantell. It's a planet in the Mid-Rim and the capital of the Bright Jewel system. During the Clone Wars, it was the stage of a battle between the Separatists and the Shadow Collective. In the next scene, we see a hologram of Rodder the Hutt. He's the son of Jabba, who debuted in the 2008 animated Clone Wars movie, where he was at the centre of a kidnapping plot orchestrated by Count Dooku and Jabba's uncle, Zero. He also appeared in the previous trailer, where he and Din fought in an arena. Then we see Din and Grogu on a snowy planet riding an AT-ST, which was used by the Republic for patrols and anti-infantry support in the final months of the Clone Wars. We then see Din fire at 3 AT-ATs, whose most notable appearance was during the Battle of Hoth in The Empire Strikes Back. As we hear Ward ask Din what will happen when he can't protect Grogu anymore. We then see another shot of Embo standing in the rain, before we see his Anuba, as an Anzellan watches on terrified. This is followed by a shot of battle droids running through the woods of what's probably now Hutta, before Din tells Grogu that he'll be right behind him. He then urges Grogu to go before we see him shooting at the battle droids. I think this is going to be a pretty intense scene in the movie. I'm thinking that Din and Grogu might get separated here, as Alex and Max said in their breakdown. We then see Din's helmet removed by the Hutt twins. As I said in my breakdown of the last trailer, this could be a big problem as Din is a member of the Watch, a covert group of Mandalorians whose most important rule is that they can't remove their helmet in front of others. We then see Din face a big snake as the Hutts say that he'll suffer first and then Grogu. We actually saw this snake in the last trailer, but here we get a better shot at him from the front as he attacks Din. Thankfully, Din ducks under the water just in time. As I mentioned in my previous breakdown, I think this might be the mines of Mandalore, where Din had to bathe to redeem himself after he was expelled from the Watch for showing his face to Grogu before Luke Skywalker took him to be trained as a Jedi. Then we see Din battle some giant droids outside the Hutt chambers, as his voiceover says, "The old protect the young." Then we see Grogu among a big bunch of cords before the droids collapse. Then Grogu pops up from the fallen droid, revealing that he was inside and cut the cords that forced it to malfunction. We then see Din without his helmet on, trying to swim back to the surface so that he can breathe, before we get a shot of Grogu swimming. We then see Grogu holding Din's hand as we hear him say, "Then the young protect the old," implying that Grogu went into the water to save Din, probably after the snake attacked him. We then see more X-Wings, as well as Din and Grogu in the Razor Crest and Zeb in his U-Wing. Then we get a better look at Grogu's chest plate, as the mystery creature from the previous trailer says that Grogu should be scared. We then see the Anzellans again in their spaceship, but this time they call Grogu a good baby. So Grogu must have redeemed himself in their eyes somehow. We then see a shot of Din taking on a group of battle droids outside the Hutt chambers, before we get one final shot of Grogu walking as Din's voiceover says, "This is the way," which of course is the Watcher's motto. This was a brilliant trailer. It had a lot of action, as well as references to past events and clues as to what's going to happen in the film. If the past two trailers are anything to go by, I think that we're in for a treat when the film arrives in only a little over a month. I'm going to leave my review of the trailer that Lucasfilm released in February in the end screen in case you missed it. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss my review of the film next month. Anyway guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.